Here we go. Let's do this.
We've got one life, one shot. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Addicted to Betterment, a podcast to inspire us to keep going, to try something new, to dream, to think big, bigger, to overcome. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, it's Nikki back on Addicted to Betterment. Actually, it's been a little bit. I know you get to hear from my amazing husband, David, regularly. He is so good at content, isn't he? I'm like listening regularly. He's one of my main morning inspirations, and it seems like so many of you are loving that as well. I'm excited to be back because we have some new things rolling out, and today is one of those days rolling out this amazing new, fresh content in an area that David and I feel compelled to go deep for ourselves and because we want to share this with others because we think it is really an unlock that advances our individual selves, our families, our communities, and just makes everything else rise, right? And it eliminates a lot of the stuff that we don't want to be struggling with internally. And I'm just going to get right to it. It's money. It's financials. And there's no one on Addicted to Betterment that doesn't want to be abundant, doesn't want to break through those ceilings that we've created. But I'm going to just say this. I'm done talking about that. I'm done saying this year's my year that I'm going to go beyond my limits. And this year's the year I'm going to figure it out. I've read a lot of books. There's many of them like Secrets of a Millionaire Mind changed my life in my mid-20s. I still use so many teachings from there, but whatever I've done so far has only got me to where I am right now. And I want to break through a lot further. And so David and I were talking like, okay, as we go, we want to create content that helps us advance as a couple, as individuals. We want to help our people that we constantly get great feedback. Thank you so much for all of you that give us this great feedback on like, dang, I shared this with my spouse or I shared this with my team. We're like, what areas do we really want to work on for ourselves that we know will help everyone else rid the fear of what money brings to us? Let's get rid of all of that and let's lean into money is an amazing tool. We have to learn to see it differently. And it's not just in the money category, it's in all areas of our life. This is a big thing and we want to break through with you. So, David, before we turn it over and introduce our guests and get into our conversation, talk about why this is so important for you.
You know, I'm so excited about this, Nikki. And you and I were watching a show on TV, a live event on TV over the weekend. And it was something I had gone to every year as a kid. And I remember as a kid going every year and I was so excited. I was like, this is the best thing in the world. And it was in downtown Indianapolis and it was a holiday event. And as a kid and a young teenager, I thought Indianapolis was the Mecca of the world. It's because it was the ceiling that I had. It was what I had experienced. And what I know is when I went to Spain, when I've been to New York City, when I went to all these other places, what I realized was Indianapolis was not the ceiling, the Mecca that I thought it was. And I feel like we do that in so many areas of our life, including money. We have this ceiling that we know because it's all we know. We don't know that we can do so much better. We can be so much more abundant. We can experience so much more because it's just, we don't know that. We don't know, how to unlock that potential. And so in my mind, like I'm excited to just smash all the ceilings that I've known in the past and unlock what is the new ceiling? What is that? And I am completely relentlessly sold out to see what that is.
And maybe we even say no more ceiling, like goodbye to the ceiling. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. We have a lot to learn. But as we venture down this path and kick off with our new contributor of this special series, we're doing a limited series for a while. We have 6 episodes planned out. We are pretty convinced that it's going to be like, oh my, where have y'all been with this content? And we will be going on for a long time, but we've done our best to figure out these 6 core learnings that we are bringing our new coach. This is our new coach, Roya Mattis, to come along to help us. And at the same time, while we're being helped and we're doing coaching behind the scenes, we're doing couples coaching and not couple, but together, coaching through this money topic, and also for ourselves individually. We are doing these episodes and we want to learn in this together. So we're going to include so much in the marketing about Roya's background. If I sat here and talked about, we take up the whole episode time today. But here's what I heard when I heard Roya the first second or conversation. It was very early on. I heard this woman say in her background multiple times over, after breaking through the ceiling herself, she has done it time and time again, helping people that in certain industries, there's jargon that I was picking up on when Roya was talking. And I know that jargon of that level and what it takes to get to that level. And it caught my attention. And I was like, David and I were out on a walk, and I was like, you know who's going to come along for this financial journey with us? I am talking to Roya, because I don't know anyone personally who has gone alongside someone to help them hit these levels of financial, quote unquote, success, right? Healthy, not fear, embracing money and being their best self with money as part of their holistic self. I've never met someone personally, and I admired it so much. We were talking, I was like, can you teach us? So therefore, she's our new coach. We're going to dive in, and I can't wait to start today's conversation. Roya Mattis, thank you for being with us. Let's dive into the financial blueprint and tell us like why you're excited to dive in with us.
Oh my gosh. Well, your share is the first time I ever got to hear that share from behind the scenes. So peeling back the curtain just gave me all kinds of gleeful feelings of gratitude. Thank you both so much coming on and speaking to giants, coaching giants, and the giants that listen in on this podcast. Those of you that are listening into a podcast named Betterment, that means you have a spirit that is crazy in a beautiful way about advancing yourself. So many people are in the status quo and the good enough. And while gratitude is massive, there's also hunger, which is also a massive part of elevation. And I believe we're here for a very important mission, and that is soul elevation, however that comes for you. And if we are to understand that money is a part of allowing those choices to exponentially expand who you are, and if who you are in your core is of love, it's in there, then it gets to expand the mission of more love, then that's what I'm here for. And money gets to be an expression of that.
So good.
Yeah.
And see, David, more and more alignment. Like we were just with our friend over the weekend, that the core of everything we're talking about is this love at the root, right? And David's working on a campaign with another friend who actually, both of these friends we've introduced to Roya, and they're like, Roya. So it's like, you know, when you find those right
I
people.
love them so much too.
Oh, it's so good. But we believe so deeply in this too. And, you know, Roya, I want to kick off with that story that I remember you had mentioned to us, because you think it's such a great teaching about the man on the ship. But right before I turn that over, I just want to remind all of us, we come from our journeys in our lives of, 43 years on this earth. I've had 43 years and all of these different things that have shaped me. And you have too, listener, and you have too, David, and you have too, Roya. We all have that. And the way we come from how we see money, just how we see money, let alone anything else, it's our perception. And rightly so, we're wired because we have 43 years that no one else knows those 43 like I do, right? And so deep diving into this blueprint of understanding, and not just from a like, I just want more money so I could buy more things for myself. No, like Betterment, we're all here because we know it's a tool and to make our lives elevated and help more people and change the world and not say no and don't live in fear, right? Like whatever that story is for you, I just wanted to comment on that for a second. But Roya, tell us the ship story. I know it's really cool.
I love this story. It's an ancient story, I feel like. And so if you've heard it before and the audience, hear it in a different way. I'm going to ask you to pause and challenge yourself. How can I hear this better than I did before so that it anchors even deeper? So there's a story. Let's say it's a true story. I would imagine it is the true story because it's been true for you. It's been true for me in other places of life. If it hasn't been true on a cruise ship. So this man gets on a very beautiful yacht, a cruise experience, and he packs himself cheese and crackers every day because he spent every dime to get on this beautiful ship. And he was walking around just mesmerized, the details of the ship and the places he could sit and the expansion of the ocean that he got to admire from the edges of the ship. And when the meal times would come, he would go back to his room and watch people changing their clothing maybe and walking into these extravagant dining rooms where he watched this china just laid out with silverware after silverware because there were so many courses. And he pined and wished that he could go and eat that too, but alas, he could only afford the ticket on the ship. And so he'd go and eat his cheese and crackers. And it wasn't until the last day he was having a conversation with some other passenger on the ship. And the passenger was commenting on how amazing the food was on this experience. And he said, "Oh, next time I'll save enough money. Perhaps I can have that food as well." And he said, "What do you mean?" It was included in the ticket. And the man's mind was spinning and spiraling out of control because to think that it was included on the ticket and he put himself in the room with cheese and crackers. Well, as we look around in the windows as we shop in the holiday seasons or don't, as we walk through our lives, witnessing people on all kinds of social media affairs going and maybe hyping up extra, who knows, the things that they're doing on vacations or in their regular lives, the cars that others are driving, and the clothing that they choose to wear. And we think maybe next time, someday or that wasn't meant for me. And yet, all of these things are included in your ticket. They're included in David's ticket. They're included in Nikki's ticket. They're included in my ticket. And as I say it, my body starts to respond in the shiver of yes, because as you hear it, I'd like you to hear it a different way. If you've heard the story and your body has not responded to a yes, that just means that there is something that we're going to be playing in these episodes that's going to awaken and remind you that the ticket is in your hand, like the ruby slippers on Dorothy's feet, is right there for you, for me, for all of us. And we just have to keep unwrapping and knowing that we do have the golden ticket.
Man, Roy, that is so good. I love how you put that because we all have our own status quo. When you think of, oh man, I refuse to be status quo, the easiest thing for us to do to justify our current status is to say, oh, I'm not status quo. Yeah, but what is your status quo? We all have that thing, especially with money. I feel like, this time of year, we're going into a new year and a new season, and we're all looking at goals and what did we do great this year? What are we going to do better next year? And, we all do the same thing. Man, next year I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. What if we were able to reimagine what that is? Or I love what Nikki said. I even wrote it down. Remove the ceiling. Forget of, hey, this mindset of, oh, I'm going to do this, but I wish I could do that. Well, no, let's go after her, whatever that is. It's unlimited. So, thank you so much for sharing that. That was beautiful.
And for some of us, imagining getting things just doesn't jazz us up. Even traveling for some of us doesn't jazz us up. We love our home. We like being our simple life, whatever that means for you. There's an and. So what I found is that there's a basic need you have been born with. Mine happens to be love and belonging. And we're going to talk about this on one of the episodes. But if you've not looked up basic human needs, you'll want to look that up. And I have found that mine is love and belonging. So when I was first making massive goals for 2 years, I didn't do a diddly for the goal. It was a beautiful big diamond ring. It was a big status. It was, yes, I was going to make money along the way until I attached it to my human need, which was to create a deep memory for people that I loved, to bring them along with me, to give a celebration to the happened to be my mother and father at that time. That's what lit me up. So when you go after these bigger things financially, find the places that make your soul sing and leverage it for those reasons because that's why you were born. Maybe you were born to buy, maybe you go and buy a family Christmas presents every year or Hanukkah, but you'd like to do 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 families. Well, money can help you do that too.
Oh, that story is so powerful. And going back to, 43 years here for myself, and all of us have our number, how long we've been on this human journey, right? And the the core of all of this is our belief, the belief that limits us, the belief that provides the opportunity to not have a ceiling. And so it's this programming that many times we're not even aware of. And sometimes we're a little aware, but we really need to be more aware, right? So I want to dig into what we're working on in this coaching with Roya is this inherited programming and other versions of our programming. Let's start there with the inherited programming.
We've all heard about generational wealth and generational poverty and so forth, but it goes deeper than that. So, one of the ways to witness yourself in your own financial programming is really simple if you're, let's say, an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur listening to this broadcast, what you're going to want to ask yourself is, have I hit a certain level of money? And then my bank account or the money goes down in my business dramatically. And has that happened on more than one occasion? And has it happened alongside of economy swings and outside of economy swings? Here's what I see for sure. When someone has hit their financial ceiling, they unconsciously sabotage self. Now, most entrepreneurs see themselves as a person that is an achiever. So you see yourself as achievement oriented, I must achieve, and you hit your ceiling of deserve level financially. Well, subconsciously, whether you can point to reasonable reasons why the money drained out or the finance or the income stopped rolling into your business or not, it doesn't matter. If it's a pattern that is from the subconscious atonement of what is being gravitated toward you and will show itself in many ways, including things you can put logic to. So now your money goes down. Oh, shoot, but I'm an achiever. I have gap again to my deserve level limit, so I'm going to achieve again. Now you can only surpass your subconscious deserve level for so long. Boom, it goes down. And here comes the money roller coaster. Have it, got to achieve, room to achieve, don't have it, room to achieve again. I definitely see myself as an achiever, but I cannot achieve past my deserve level for very long. So what is the work? The work is to raise the thermostat of your financial deserve level and not with just affirmations, incantations, confirmations alone. Those are very helpful and vital. They are not the only thing. And this is why you could have been doing all of those things and you're still hitting the roller coaster effect. That's because your subconscious wiring, that beautiful survival amygdala in the back of your brain, is alerting you to something you don't even have conscious awareness of. So today we're going to talk, I believe, about uncovering a little bit of the roots of your meaning to money that you may have forgotten a long time ago, but your subconscious has not.
So good.
Roy, that is so good. I know we've all heard 100 times that if someone that's completely broke hit the lottery, in a year, they're going to be broke again. Or on the flip side, if you take someone who's very successful, fairly wealthy, and took everything they had, they would rebuild themselves pretty fast. And I was just sitting here thinking as you were talking, how much of that is tied to that belief system that we have in our head. You know, Part of it is the habits and systems that you have in place, not knowing how to manage it. But I also wonder how much of that is tied to that belief system, because that person who was successful, was wealthy, took some setbacks. They believe that they can achieve or deserve or whatever their temperature is set at that certain amount, that certain level. And they just get back to that versus someone who is down here. They believe, and then their temperature is set down to this level, and so they're going to find their way back to that. It's just whether it's
They are.
self-sabotage.
And I believe, David, it's an and. It's a conscious knowledge and subconscious deserve level. It's ands. But we don't get the root the grounding into what we know to do. We might know it all day long. I mentored thousands of people for over 2 decades. They could know it all day long, but until they believed it was for them, not for somebody else, not for one day, for them right now, didn't matter how much they knew. So you can collect knowledge all day long. And what do they say? You know, the wisest people, I can't remember the exact saying, but it's to the effect of, we can know everything, but until we believe that it's for us, it's never going to amount. So shall we go into one of the roots of that drives our
I think that would be so good. We're going to go right to the roots. I just wanted to throw out something really quick that is coming up for me is some of these very popular, like inherited money programs that even people, like whatever your quote unquote ceiling is right now, like your ceiling versus someone else's, like it is very different, right? Like your ceiling could be like, I've never broken through $1 billion, right? And someone else is like, I've never broken through $200,000 per year, right? Like it doesn't really matter. We're just talking about, like, granted, being a billionaire is a pretty cool thing, right? Like we're all looking towards that would be an amazing opportunity. But I'm saying whatever that is for you, the common thread is that we have these inherited money programs. And I just want to mention a couple, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, to Roya, to keep going here. But if we believe, could be nearly a billionaire, but I could believe money is stressful, right? Or someone taught me, don't ask for anything extra. Or rich people, they're just greedy. Or people like us don't make that kind of money. Or stay humble. You don't want to stand out. Women shouldn't earn more than men. If you have money, you should help everyone. Be grateful. You don't want too much. Right? All of these things. There's something there that resonated with you listening. There's something there that resonated with me as I said it. Like there's so many of them and they are alive and well in us, right? And we have to figure out how to get to that true belief. Like it's not just saying like act as if, like no, like the real belief, the belief, and also figuring out what some of those things are, because we were 3 when we heard them for the first time, right? And I'm 43, right? So I just want to share a couple of those. Roya, take us.
Those are so spot on. Mine was money comes and goes, because that's what I witnessed. And another meaning I had was that no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much effort I gave, it was never going to be enough. And that was from a simple earliest memory. So that's where we'll segue into now. My earliest memory of money, I was 5 years old. My parents had to start all over again. I was born in another country and all the funds cut off between that country and America. My dad had 4 of us under the age of 5 and took on a relative. So he had 5 children now with everything cut off. And so for a short amount of time, we were on food stamps and I felt that pain. I was never hungry, but I felt the pangs. And so I would go to the creek, my little 5-year-old self with my 3.5-year-old brother. And sometimes I'd bring along the tiniest one that could walk, which was 18 months. And I would collect coal in cups all day. And I'd bring the coal back to my mom every day. And one day, I'm sure my mom was sick and tired of getting all these rocks. And she said to me, Roya, what are you bringing all this coal for? And I said, Mom, I'm helping us so we can have money. And she said, Roya, it doesn't matter how much coal you bring. You could bring a full dump truck. And I remember still today, I saw the Sesame Street dump truck in my head. And I can still see that as I'm hearing her say it. And she said, if you bring a dump truck, it will bring $20, and $20 is not going to help our family, sweetheart. So just stop worrying about the coal. Now, as a loving mother, she was trying to release me of the burden. She was trying to help me see that I could relax and play as a kid. My meaning was, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much effort I gave, it was never going to be enough. So what we drive with as adults are interpretations of a tiny mind that has no worldly influence yet. The Indianapolis is the center of the world, right? And at those ages, between the ages of 0 and 7-ish, You are the center of your own universe, which means everything revolves around you. Everything is because of you, and everything is for you or against you. So imagine receiving your first money memories through those filters. So, what I'd like for the audience to do at this moment is, if you can, if you're not driving, if you can in this moment, allow yourself, and eyes closed is even better because our eyes open requires so much effort itself on the brain. And if you thought you knew your earliest memory, challenge yourself to go a little earlier and say, is there anything before that memory? So, what is my earliest memory with money? And is there anything before that memory, especially if your memory is not before the age of 7? There is some money memory that's buried inside of you. Now, once you remember what that is, and perhaps it's challenging for you to remember. I have clients that don't remember their childhood at all, and they need some assistance. So there are people out there that can assist you, and it will help give you a trail for your own belief system. Why is this important? This is important because it activates within you what that neuropathic belief is, the firing and wiring, that now allows you to uncover the root that has been driving every reaction subconsciously that is playing out the pattern of your life as it relates to money. So when you access that earliest memory, define for yourself not what does that mean to you today? What did it mean to you then? That's the one that matters. Today, I know what my mother meant. That's not what my subconscious has fired and wired to protect me from, or to pattern and witness and find evidence for my entire life. Once you access the meaning that you had, I'm going to give you a very simple exercise. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. And I ask you to do it exactly the way that this is instructed. So many of us will go to our electronics and think, I've done it. Here's the thing. Your human body, the human of you, has not advanced as fast as the technology we work with. So the human body still needs certain things. We all are witness to that. And so therefore, to access your subconscious, it will still need what I'm going to ask you to do. And that is to use your hand on paper. Because what happens is when you do the exercise with your hands to paper, writing, the subconscious flows through that space in a way it cannot do through your typewriter, through your talking alone. I remember doing it the first time. It was not about money. It was about, I could not find a nanny for 3 years. And I did the exercise I'm about to tell you. And I believed in it. I coached to have it. I knew I wanted it. I had one for my daughter and now for my son. I was searching and searching, dead ending. And I put that pen to paper with the same exercise I'm going to give you. Within 3 days, I found my nanny. He's 12. Now she does more house things. She's still with us today. So here's what you do. You ask 2 powerful questions, because empowering questions get powerful answers. Pitiful questions get pitiful answers. The powerful question is, what within me still believes the message I got when I was blank? 3, 1, 5, 7. What within me still believes this? And I want you to write it, looking at spaces of your life that it shows up in over and over again. And just let your pen flow with that one question. Once you feel complete, like, yeah, that's it. It might take you 5 minutes. It might take you 30 minutes. It might take you 3 hours. Honor self. So when doing this, give yourself spaciousness into night or early morning, because the second piece is critical to bridge directly afterwards. And the bridge is, you write this sentence, this is a lie, and here is the truth. Meaning the story you told yourself was not a complete truth. It was a lie to yourself. So write your new truth. And as you write it, something cathartic begins to happen. And then you can build upon it, and we will continue to build in further episodes. This is a critical foundation to laying a new path of understanding to allowing yourself to set yourself free to go into those gorgeous 7-course meals on the yacht of your life and enjoy because it's waiting for you.
Man, as you were saying that last part, people can relate to this. I feel like a lot of the systems in the world that we have been taught our whole life are crumbling. You know, you see our political system crumbling, you see religious systems crumbling, you see a lot, and it's interesting what it does to the human mind when things that you've been taught or believed your whole life, and suddenly you realize that is super false. That's not even remotely true. And as you were saying, I thought, wow, how powerful the other way that can be and freeing that can be when these things that you believed your whole life, suddenly you realize, hmm, that's not true. This is a lie. And how to use that for good. That was awesome. And Roy, and the thing I want to talk about or just ask quick questions about, because I work with business owners and I know a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to Addicted to Betterment. And I'm thinking as you're talking, you know, this ceiling or this thing that we have in our head, how that shows up in the business world is even more powerful. You know, like it's one thing as an individual because it affects me and then of course my spouse and my kids, you know, but as a business owner, I feel like that happens so much that, you know, either the things that we've been told or the things that we believe. And then when we realize, damn, that's not even accurate. Like there's a whole new world outside of that is real and that what I was told was not real. Can you kind of shed some light on what that looks like?
So, how it affects in an entrepreneurial world in your business, inside of your business, your business, typically you're starting it because you're so passionate about it, or you're really behind whatever that is, or you know that it is your mission in life to accomplish that, or you are hell bent on being an entrepreneur that raises capital, sells that business, and goes to the next one, right? You're on a mission for something quite abundant in the way that you want to deliver into the world. And this money hang up, it will infiltrate everything you are trying to deliver. It will infiltrate the amount that you deliver, the courage you have behind it, the risks you're willing to take, the wise risks you take, the poor risks you take, the things that you allow pass you by, the clients you will never attract because you're vibrating a message that I'm actually not at the level to deliver to you. All of these things are silent messages. How your voice vibrates actually dictates whether or not you're going to attract your. I don't care what your script is. I don't care what you claim to be your studies and the preparations up until that point. When it comes to the table and you are to deliver an invitation, whether you are saying you're selling or you're doing a presentation, you are that product in that moment. You are what the buyer is seeing, the potential buyer is seeing, whether you're selling to a corporation or an individual, you're talking to a person. And that person is unaware sometimes of even what they're feeling, but they're feeling like, I don't know what it is, but no to you. And if you continue to get these no's, your dream, your business dies, along with what you were planted here to deliver. And I'm not saying it's never possible, but what I'm saying is that if it is going to be delivered to the degree that you are destined to bring it into this lifetime, you have got to signal out at the core root of you that everything inside of you believes in self. And you might believe in your mission, you might believe in the product, but do you believe that you can hold the money that they give? Do you believe that you can leverage the money that you're working with? Do you believe you can expand it? It all comes down to where's the money flowing? Flowing into product, flowing into your household, flowing to employees. Where is it flowing? It's flowing into the environment. Where is that going? Do you trust yourself to be a steward of that cash flow? And until your deserve level goes to the spaces and places beyond where you have been, then your stewardship inside of yourself is diminishing the outcome that you are dreaming of.
I would love to continue this conversation all day. I'm not joking. Like, I am just so curious and ready. I'm just really, there's so much more. Our first session, Roya, that we did one on one, and we got deep in the roots of my story of growing up, my childhood. I'm still working through some things that I shared and talked about, like connecting the dots on, we never even said like any of the questions didn't connect to like my financial blueprint. Like it wasn't even there. Like we were just getting to know each other. But those things, it's so clear how so much of this connects. And guys, this is when you talk about the growth journey, like pouring into yourself, self-development. This is deep, deep, deep. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get my new health plan in place for the gym and I'm gonna hire a trainer. And that might work, like really, right? This stuff is so much deeper. I just want to close with, we have a lot more coming, 6 episodes planned right now, but many, many more. I think beyond that, you are worthy of more. I am too. Not because you've earned it, high achievers, right? Me too. Not because you checked all the boxes, but because you exist. Like getting on the boat, the ship, the beautiful ship, and the meals. And it wasn't like you had to pick something and you got this because you weren't worthy of it all. You are, and so am I. Where did this come from? Somewhere along the way, we learned to shrink, to limit what we ask for, and to lower our expectations, to make sure we don't stand out, don't make waves, don't talk too loud, don't shine bright like a diamond. I love that song for a reason. Like let it go. And here's the truth. Why would we limit ourselves when expansion is how we serve? That is what we are here to do, is to contribute and to serve. And when we earn more and grow more, we become more. And when we improve, we expand, and everybody else does too. Our family, our dinner table, our communities, our churches, our sports teams, our clients, our teams, everybody, they all rise when you rise. So we are the people to take it seriously this time. We're right on this cusp of this new year. And this isn't a pressure thing. It's a purpose thing. It's time. And we are ready, along with Roya, to let the healing begin, like to let the growth begin, the abundance begin. We're going to go deeper. I can't wait to hear the story. It makes me emotional thinking of the stories that will come to rewrite our messages and choose our new truth. And just, the first of many episodes. Roya, thank you for your gift, and so glad you're with us. And for those of you that have a takeaway already, like drop it, like throw it in the chat, reach out to Roya, reach out to me. Would love to figure out how we collaborate more. So Roya, the train has left the station. We're on the journey
Left
now,
the
friend.
station, baby. Let's
Yeah.
all get on it. Let's ride.
So, you just listened to this episode. Now, join us in being addicted to Betterment. Please subscribe to the show, share with your friends, tag us, and please take a moment, leave a review. Yeah, we do want your stars, but we really want the feedback.